Good morning. Now we are discussing the basic concept of probability. First one is random experiment. Random experiment. What is the meaning of random? Random means chance. An experiment in which the outcome is having some chance is called a random experiment. It's clearly depending that we know that we are tossing a coin, there is a chance of getting head or tail. Then if we are rolling a die, then we may be getting the values 1, 2 up to 6. These are the chance of getting different outcomes. The chance, when an experiment is having a chance, okay, then we call it as a random experiment. And coming to another term, that is trial. Trial means performing a random experiment. Whenever you are performing a random experiment, it is called as a trial. For example, you are tossing the coin one time, that's a first trial. And if you are doing the same in the 2 times, that is a trial 2. Trial means you are performing the random experiment continuously. Okay, this is called a trial. Then coming to another term, that is outcome. Outcome means the result of this trial. The random experiment is called doing a random experiment by way of trial, and you are expecting certain outcome. That is called outcomes. For example, here we know that the outcome of an experiment is in the case of the coin, head or tail. In the case of die, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. up to 6. These are the expected outcomes. Okay, then coming to another basic function, basic terminology or approaches relating to the probability. That is very important. Approaches. Okay, then coming with that, first one is axiomatic approach. Axiomatic. In your text, it is said that axioms of probability. It's usually we will be calling it as an axiomatic approach. In the axiomatic approach, they are following 3 assumptions, basic assumptions. First one is a probability of an event. Probability of an event, we will be writing the P of probability. That means P, and of means you have to give the bracket. If we are writing the probability of A, means this will be called as the probability of A. That means the probability of event A. That is the chance of happening. This A is called as probability of A. This value always within 0 and +1. Okay, the value of probability varies in between the 0 and 1. Then this is the first axiom. Mathematically we will be writing that 0 less than or equal to probability of A less than or equal to 1. That means the probability of an event A is always lies in between 0 and 1. That is the first axiom. Then coming to the second axiom, I already said that the probability of a sure event. That means it's a sure. Entire spaces we know that it's sure. Then the probability of a sure event is always 1. Like then you are rolling a die and expecting your value is less than 7. I said in the last class. Then the less than 7 means you are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then it's a sure event. That means then I will be, or if you are trying to do the problem, probability of die getting less than 7. This is your question. Okay. Then less than 7. Then what is your? Then you know that the probability of the event X is equal to, you are getting 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Then up to 6. These are our expected outcome. Then you will be writing your answer as the probability of X is equal to 1. That means you first trial you are expecting that your outcome is 1. Then another trial you are expecting the outcome is 2. Then another trial you are expecting the outcome is 3. In another trial you are expecting the outcome is 4. Then coming to the probability of X is equal to 5. Then probability of X is equal to 6. Okay, these are the values less than 7. We know that we are considered here the chance for the die. Then die is having the probability for 1 is 1 by 6 plus. Then probability for 2 is 1 by 6 plus. Then probability of getting 3 is 1 by 6 plus. Then probability of getting 4 is 1 by 6 plus. Then probability of getting 5 is 1 by 6 plus. Then probability of getting 6 is 1 by 6. As I said that here the denominator is same. then you have to just add the numerator. 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 1, 4, 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. That is 6 by 6 equal to 1. This is the probability of a sure event. Then we got the value. Probability of a sure event is always 0. Then coming to last axiom, which is probability of impossible events. Okay, impossible event is always 0. Probability of an impossible event is always 0. Okay, then from coming to the head and tail, then you are tossing a coin. Then tossing a coin and you are expecting that you are getting a 7. It's not possible, it is impossible. Then your answer is 0. The probability of an impossible event is 0. Then here another approach is another thing is they have given the mutually exclusive event. The mutually exclusive means there is no connection between one event to the another event. Then such type of events are called mutually exclusive. It's very important. Mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive. The name itself that mutually exclusive means you have to then this is the Venn diagram. Whenever you are writing values in a square or a rectangle and you are giving the circles. This is the A, this is B. Okay, two chances. First chance is A and second chance is B. Here there is no relationship between A and B because there is no connection between A and B. These events are we called as mutually exclusive event. Coming to mutually inclusive event, the A is here and B is here. Okay, A is here and B is here. There is a common connection between A and B. This is what called mutually inclusive event. Okay, then these are the different cases you have to understand. This is mutually exclusive event. And now we are going to the addition property, some of the theorems, theorems of the theorems. Then coming with the first probability theorem is the addition theorem. Here the addition theorem, I will be discussing the addition theorem. Addition theorem means there are two concepts, very important two concepts are there. Okay, first one is you have to consider the case of a mutually exclusive event. I said that probability of A and probability of B is not having any direct connection. In such a case, we call it as a mutually exclusive event. Okay, in mutually exclusive event, you are supposed to add probability of A plus probability of B. You are asked to find out the probability of A plus probability of B. And what you will be doing the value probability of A plus probability of B. Because there is no mutual connection, then no need to do further thing. Okay, this addition we all call it as this is the symbol for the union. Okay, in mathematically this symbol is denoted as union. You have to call it as union. That means here your then question will be probability of A union B. A union B, whenever someone is asking you to find out A union B, you have to think that the union symbol is similar to the plus symbol. Then one in mathematically we will be using the union, but in some of the sentences the questions will be asked in the term of the sentences. In the English usage or stand for this addition symbol or union symbol. Similar meaning. Whenever someone is asked you for find out the probability of A or B, then you have to find out the union. Okay, whenever you get the question with the wording or, you have to understand this is union. The union means plus addition. Okay, but you have to think whether it is mutually exclusive or inclusive. Okay, coming with another category, in the addition theorem itself there is another category. This is called a mutually inclusive event. That is not exclusive event. Okay, mutually not exclusive. Okay, that means they have some inclusion. This is probability of A, this is probability of B. There is a common connection between A and B. This common connection we will be marking here, the shaded region, the common connection. Whenever you are asked to find out the probability of A plus B, that is A union B, then you have to find, first you have to add probability of A with the probability of B. But you consider that this space is also included with this circle too. That means whenever you are taking this value, this full value, and you are adding this remaining value, okay, then your total will be, this is correct. but you are just adding 2. That means the same area. This area is included in the first circle, and this area is also included in the second circle. That means you are added this intersection. This is called intersection point. This intersection twice. Then you have to subtract this intersection because they are not exclusive. They have some inclusion. The common portion should be subtracted. That means you have to subtract this intersection area. Intersection, we giving that the symbol A intersection B. Okay, this is the symbol of intersection. This is union. This is intersection. Okay, intersection. Okay, then you have to understand this is intersection. Then intersection, you have to then subtract the intersection area. Then don't go for the proof. It's very simple thing, but in your textbook it's made them very complex. And coming to the 3 events, you are supposed to ask about the 3 events, A union, B union, C. Then what is the probability? Then you have to first add a probability of A plus probability of B plus probability of C. Okay. Then you have to subtract intersection between each other. That means probability of A intersection B, then minus probability of B intersection C minus probability of A intersection C, and you have to add one more thing, the common intersection between all, that is probability of A intersection B intersection C. This is very important, but I will be discussing with the Venn diagram, with the help of a Venn diagram. This diagram we call it as a Venn diagram. Here probability of A is there, and here probability of B is there, then here the probability of C is there. This is A, this is B, this is C. That means this is a common area. 3 will be coming together. This is the common area. Okay. That means here for the last time we know that the probability of A and B, what we will be doing the probability of A intersection B, we just add A plus B minus A intersection B. Same thing is did here. You are added A and you are added B and subtracted A intersection B. Okay. Then coming to another, the second one, you have supposed to consider the case of the B and C. Here also B intersection C is there. You are this area. Okay. This common area you are subtracted from the second 2. Then coming to the third, that is A and C. Here also common area A intersection C is there. That is this area. This area you are subtracted here. But you are subtracted, firstly you are subtracted this area, second you are subtracted this whole area, and third subtracted this whole area. That means you didn't consider the common intersection area. Okay, automatically this common area is eliminated by this subtraction process. Then you have to add this common area, that is A intersection B intersection C, together with the equation. Okay, that's why we are giving the equation. It's very important and very logical. You have to understand the logic. Then coming to another category, that is a compound event. That means a joint occurrence event. When an event is occurred with another event called a compound event. That is compound event. A joint occurrence of 2 or more events is called a compound event. That means an event, one head appears in, that means you consider that compound event in the case of the rolling 2 dice or rolling 2 coins. That means here you will be getting rolling 2 dice, your outcomes are head, then head tail, then tail head, then tail tail. Okay, we already said that this is the expected outcome. Then you will be writing this as a sample space. This is a compound event. Then one event is combined with another event, that is called a compound event. Then another category classification, we have to understand that independent event. Independent event means your mark is not related to your friend's mark. Your mark is something different from the another person. That means independent event. The chance of occurrence of one is not related with the chance of occurrence of other. Then such case we call it as the independent event. Okay, you suppose consider the then you consider the bag containing different colors of balls. Then 2, 3 white balls and 2 black balls are there. Then you are taking one and you found that it's white. It is not related to another activity. Okay, then this is not related to the another event. That means this is independent event. And also for your exam, you are getting 75 out of 75. This is not related with your friend's mark in the class. She got only 60 out of 75. This is not related with another person mark. These are coming under the independent event category. Coming to dependent event, this is another category which is called a dependent event. Dependent event is the happening of one is restricted by happening of another one. That means when you in a competition, there are only one place. Okay, three persons are applied for a job. There is only one place. Then if you get the chance, you win. That means your friends, two other friends will not pass. It's a dependent event. Okay, like dependent event, there are different cases of the dependent event. Then coming to a very important part of the probability theorem, that is conditional probability. Conditional probability, which is always coupled with a very, very important conditional probability. That means one thing is, you know that the probability of A given, this symbol is called as B. This symbol is called as given. You have to call it as given, not by. It is given. A probability of A given B. That means then that means you found that you know that B is already known to you. Okay, this B is known to you, and you are expected to find A. Then if B happens, what will happen to this A? This type of probability we call as conditional probability. I will be reading the definition. In the definition, two events A and B are said to be dependent when A can occur only when B is known to have occurred. That means if B is known, then you can know the value of A. This type of case we call it as a conditional probability. Similarly, we can write B given A. That means just after this symbol, this is a known event. Whenever after this symbol, given symbol, you are saying an event, that event we expecting that event is known to us. That means I will be my sentence you have to write, that is probability of B given that A is occurred. That means this is the meaning of this case. That means find the probability of B. You have to find the probability of B, but you know the probability of A. Okay, it's given in the question. With the given value of A, you have to find the value of B. Then this case we assume that dependent probability. This is only applied when the dependent probability, then you have to find this value. And we will be going the equation for the probability of B given A is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. Okay, this after given value you have to give in the denominator. Okay, then coming to another probability, I already said that probability of A given B. A given B is equal to probability of similarly A intersection B divided by which one is written after given symbol, that is B. Then you have to write this P of B in the denominator. This is the equation for that. It's very simple. And to summarize the theories, I said that in the problem you may be asked, or you have to understand this is the case of the union. And whenever you are asked with and, you have to understand that this is intersection. Okay, these two things are very fundamental for understanding the problems. I will come here and I will say that from this picture I will be clarifying this intersection. That means A and B. This area is A and B, common to A and B. Not or. Whenever you are asked about the or, you think that it is union. Then whenever someone is asked you for the and, then you have to think that there is an intersection. This is a very, very, very fundamental. Next class onwards we will be going for the problems and some of the symbol concepts as well.